Everything seems to be over and rest well. The city was handed over to Ditheria by Wu Ziyu. It respectfully accepted immediately. King Qiang had brought back a ton of human supplies underground, but he still hadn't scavenged them all. Wu Ziyu Bao King Qiang will still have time to plunder slowly in the future. Today's work is done here. After finishing the tour and then going home, not only was the fan meeting successful, but it also brought in a lot of gifts. It's truly a double job. The northern Yu Ravine is now in ruins. A plain area with no trees or flowers and a gray soil would have to endure 5 atomic bombs. The land could not stand it, but staying here is still the most comfortable for Wu Ziyu. He planted his roots in the ground exactly where he always planted them. The entire large area around was as deserted as Badan Pagoda. It's okay if the land is dry and hard. He can fix it. Just pour spirit power into these roots. It's like infusing vitamins into the ground. Wherever it grows roots, sprinkle medicine there. Soon it will be green again. Nothing makes it difficult for him, but growing plants and flowers is not a problem. One breath and it's perfect. Taking another breath, Kim Xiang happily flew back riding the white tiger and the white crane. Since when did tigers become so stupid that they knew how to fly? Never mind, Kim Xiang has something to tell them urgently. No need to say anything. I know it's good news. Specifically, these 2 flying animals have learned human language. For a teacher, it's truly shocking. Kim Xiang was shaken and Wu Ziyu was psychologically traumatized. Backhack didn't pay much attention, but that stupid tiger was truly a miracle. Of course it's a miracle. Say something to scare them kids. 2 of them know how to talk and all 3 of them like it. Really scared. They must be very stupid, that's why the teacher ended up in this situation. The stupid tiger roared and shot out a sentence with mixed human grammar. The mixed phrase, quickly find the divine beings, sorry, you all must die. Why are you saying that now? But it's still considered knowing human language. Kim Xiang is very proud. This time, not only the tiger but also the crane can speak. It spread its wings and said, I will definitely not let you go. So good, but somehow it sounds a bit familiar to me. Wu Ziyu sounds strange. Discovered the problem. These are the words they said last time when fighting humans. Wu Ziyu cursed it to me. No, you only know how to say these few sentences. I was startled when I heard it. Suddenly hit the black heart. Those 2 idiots continued to say that sentence over and over again. It's also knowing how to speak but knowing exactly one sentence. Stupid is still stupid. Being our boss gives me a headache. That crane. That's right. The one spreading his wings. He looked at it with eyes that were 3 parts pity and 7 parts contempt. I thought White Tiger was very stupid, but today when I saw what you said, I realized there are still stupid people like that. Bakak stood bewildered. The stupid tiger and Kim Xiang can't be saved. Because he's so stupid he can't be saved. Wu Ziyu released a series of more sentences openly expressing verbal violence against the white crane, which is normal not to remember its existence. Sometimes I forget I have it. Then even if it's gone, you won't notice. Success helps the child learn another sentence. Hack rushed away and shouted, I want to die. This sentence clearly said that Wu Ziyu was very satisfied. But not Kim Xiang. Mr. Shut your mouth. Only good at causing trouble for this skinny teacher. The 3 crazy kids are gone. It's truly a relief to have more time to test your own strength. He cut these sharp rocky mountains right away. Wherever Liu Yefeido touched, it broke. Now that this move has reached level 3 power, it is no longer as ordinary as before. Consuming 10,000 points is also reasonable. Both stronger and much farther. Just cut one and you can make a ditch. In addition to the flying knife, the illusion skill has just reached level 3 and become illusory world. Brings a higher level of difficulty understanding others. Plus the 3rd level fog distorts the magnetic field. Distort your waistline. Northern Yu will now become a dense smog area. If a person or animal or something comes in, it's like using a stimulant. Dizziness, reduced strength, mixed reality. Compared to inhaling papaya leaves, it is even more intoxicating. In addition, after conquering the human city, the lightning and ice-type Lingxi were obtained. Not much, but just enough. Now adding the fire Lingxi that the panda brought, there are 4 types. The sea monsters will soon come ashore, before meeting with them. He must be stronger. The Kim Xiang Mountains territorial extension has been added to the Reign of the Kingdom map. Next will be the north. Let's talk a little about the north. There is a cold place where it snows all year round and has very few people living there. But in return, there are many strange beasts. The cold northern ice region is one of the extremely dangerous places. Along with this area, there are deserts, large rivers, and plateaus, including icebergs, are the four most dangerous locations. The Roman mountains are the premise for entering the north. That's why Wu Ziyu chose it first. From the Lama mountain range, it will gradually enter the ice mountain area, this time expanding the territory with ice-piercing, tyrant, ancient empire. The three of them are in the lead. I feel secure. Except for the level 9 polka dot dinosaur, the remaining two are already in rank 1. Ancient empire is still about to enter rank 2. Can Wu Ziyu still not feel secure? Add in the little ant Tiangwan and the mantis King Qiang, who are also very bloody ants, and they plan to lift an entire mountain in the future. King Qiang supports him wholeheartedly even though the couple is divorced and no longer in love. But the love is still there. The two of them were going crazy until Wu Ziyu noticed. King Qiang had reached level 9 and Tiangwan had not been able to rank for a while. Tiangwan's qualities are not small. His strength is hundreds of times superior to that of ordinary ants. If a normal ant can lift a piece of food dozens of times as big, Tiangwan's request to lift a mountain doesn't seem unreasonable. The small ant on his dick makes him very happy. I've been so busy these past few days that I haven't been able to pay attention, which is a real surprise. Little ants also have another special skill called absorbing power. Probably received it from chewing King Qiang's head. Absorbing 3 parts of another person's strength and then exploding twice as much made him very satisfied. This kid is really getting further and further. As his junior gets stronger, he can't sit still. Otherwise, how can we manage them? I have to literally lift my ass and go to the panda cave. Come to plunder the bear's property. On the other hand, the 3 conquered leaders also arrived at the ice mountain. We meet more and more special creatures here. For example, the snow leopard in the tyrant's throat. The snow apes were thrown away by ice piercing, or the polar bear was trampled by the ancient empire. The animals here are all white as snow due to the natural conditions of the ice mountain. They were no problem for Wu Ziyu's 3 great beasts, but snow mountains are not just that. Ancient empire looked at the mountains far ahead and couldn't help but think that not long after leaving Rome, they encountered so many snow apes. Going deeper is even more dangerous. There is definitely a lot of spirit power in this place. It is not natural that that place is listed in the 4 most dangerous areas. The boss of the northern mountain hasn't appeared yet. Another place is also covered with snow, but not in the northern mountains, which is the panda's old home. When Wu Ziyu came here, he knew immediately when he saw the black roots. Naturally know how to walk diligently. He followed the falcon's instructions to find her. Once you get there, you hastily put down roots inside. As expected, there were many fire lingshi underneath. Looking at it with wide eyes, King Qiang said there is a small lingshi mine here. But this degree is a lot, not a small one, just enough to use. If you have lingshi, you have to inhale it immediately to get hot. The roots go deep into the ground and the ground begins to glow. The kestrel looked, but the kestrel did not understand anything. Just know that the owner is upgrading extremely powerfully. Spirit power from below kept surging up around the willow tree. He just absorbed it and then smacked his lips and said it was delicious. Bull Demon King and the 9-tailed fox escorted him to see his boss increase his power dramatically. It's truly an eye-opener. All 3 of the falcon, Bull Demon King, and 9-tailed fox looked shocked. The 9-tailed fox recognized this as a reaction to absorbing the lingshi fire. The boss is cultivating, he also wants to cultivate. The 9-tailed fox quickly jumped onto the willow branch to enjoy the drink. As soon as it happens, it and the fire element spirit power will quickly flow into the 9-tailed fox's body. Wu Ziyu found it good to be self-aware. Its fire system will become more and more pure. 1 tree and 1 fox just like that absorbed lingshi. Wu Ziyu's spirit power quickly reached nearly 1900,000. If you want to be stronger, you must upgrade. Let's open the system. Raise a vine for 10,000 points. Oh my god, robbery. Previously, having 50 lifting straps cost a lot of money. In Raid 3, the number of ropes has already reached hundreds. So what else can you lift? If you can still use it now, continue using it. Level 4 vines are already a disaster. The people facing each other are already scared. Wait until the level 4 strings grow on the level 4 tree, then humans will be afraid to turn pale. At that time, it was a natural disaster that humans could not prevent. Being able to overcome the consequences of natural disasters is very good. He absorbed fire Lingxi at full capacity. The vines also have fire elemental abilities. From now on, the wires will have firepower wrapped around them. Exactly, it releases fire. In addition, the pre-existing earth element makes the vines more durable without worrying about fire. Back to the conquest. 3 fierce beasts led the way. Behind are the others. King Qiang and the chimpanzees also participated in expanding their territory this time. Although he is a construction worker, he is also very good at fighting. However, there are also some opponents who are a bit too strong. For example, this bright red bull suddenly rushed towards King Qiang. He couldn't dodge in time, so Little White Serpent bit it to save him. The most effective way to defend is to destroy the entire enemy team. But where did this snake demon go now? It's not like the author forgot it. I let him rest all the time, and now he's so fat. The Little White Serpent that had just bitten the red cow now had a red bear coming out. Red Bear roared loudly. People are also very big, but with Little White Serpent here, don't worry, Bull Demon King couldn't chew fire Lingxi, so it wandered away. Even if you think about it, it's a sin. After walking for a while, I found a moving bush. I thought the mutant bush turned out to be a tyrant hiding in there. He looked at Bull Demon King in a very strange way. No other brother looked at his elder brother and drooled like him. Bull Demon King looked at it and pushed in confusion. Top 8, why are you not going to the front line but here? It did not answer but opened its mouth to bite the Bull Demon King. This animal's heart is not clean, but the Bull Demon King is not afraid. Top 2 uses the ability to manipulate gravity to stick the tyrant to the ground. Bull Demon King glared and asked Top 8 what he wanted to do. Not long after joining the company, he planned to rebel. Fortunately, the Bull Demon King was gentle and not rude to the 9-tailed fox, and he beat him to death. Tyrant was just about to act rashly. Now, he was so scared that he was sweating profusely. Wu Ziyu also felt from afar that the outstanding power of the Bull Demon King had become significantly stronger. The 9-tailed fox sniffed Lingxi and immediately wanted to test its strength. It wants to go to the front line. Wu Ziyu told him to bring a few more children with him. Kim Xiang and Qiangwen brought the 2 of them along. Rest assured, I will keep Lingxi for you to use again. Close the deal. Turning around, he was left alone to breathe Lingxi without anyone else interrupting him. Well, just keep breathing. While the boss is on a trip, the little monsters at home have the opportunity to make trouble. White Tiger, the panda, and the poisonous spider tied up their juniors and laughed like crazy, causing the 3 vulture brothers to cry loudly. I'm happily breaking the strings of my guitar. Boss is back. Knock on them until they get bumps on their heads. Very satisfied. From the bad trio to the troublesome trio. Come back later to discuss further. Let's go visit first. At the human nest, Leader Fang was practicing his sword extremely hard. Instead of turning black, his black sword was able to emit sword energy. He remembered what his brother King Qiang said. Wu Ziyu broke through the human city and brought back countless items. I couldn't believe that he would take over a human city. Thanks to that, King Qiang brought Leader Fang many things. Leader Fang also remembered what King Qiang said to him at that time. The city where his sister lived was also occupied by strange beasts and destroyed. Remembering makes me even more angry. Leader Fang tightened his grip on the sword, causing it to vanish. Unconsciously called Leader Yu his sister's name. The reason Leader Fang didn't join Wu Ziyu's company soon was because of this younger sister. Now I don't know how to live or die. Leader Fang was depressed when Wu Ziyu appeared and gave him a ray of light. He stood before Leader Fang like a true dragon god. Prepares to grant Leader Fang a wish. He asked if he had a sister. Before he could answer, he said he'd go see what happened. Truly a psychological boss, except for White Crane and Honey Badger, who were tortured mentally and physically. Every employee is taken care of, but everything has a reason. Those guys are crazy, so they should be punished. Fearing Leader Fang's psychological trauma, Wu Ziyu had to say more. Maybe she's still alive and waiting for you. Having said that, he made Leader Fang a root bridge leading out. As long as he wants, he can go. He knew Leader Fang still had things to worry about. Trying to keep him around is really not the way. His heart is restless. His mind is tormented. He can't agree and can't do good work. Wu Ziyu told Leader Feng that if he finds a sister, he can return to the company if he wants or not. If he decides to stay in the human world, he will see the world for him. After hearing a few sentences, Leader Feng still couldn't believe it. When Wu Ziyu told him to leave, he still struggled internally for a while before leaving. Originally, my mind was no longer set in the forest. Say it and immediately run away like a ghost. For a moment it was gone. Once Leader Feng is gone, the newborn animals will definitely have to take care of themselves, or he will force He Choling to take care of them for them. Looking at these nests containing tiny babies reminds me of a flock of little kestrels, all pooped on Wu Ziyu's head. That's probably why he now raises them industrially. If you look closely, these babies seem a bit deformed. I know it's a mutant era, but these guys are twice as mutant. The reason may be due to being born with the spirit power wave. These babies have both birth defects and are weak. They completely change in the natural environment and are not due to human experimentation. Looking at this two-headed snake and elephant-eared monkey, do you remember the werewolf that the master raised in a test tube? If you take careful care, you will still die, let alone these newborns, if they do not adapt themselves. If you don't evolve, sooner or later you will die. These newborn animals are too weak. Life essence cannot be saved. Since expanding the scale of the multi-species company, the staff has many opportunities to meet. After that, they mated and then gave birth loudly. There is no family planning, so one day more than 1,000 babies are born. However, because they give birth at the wrong time, only 10 to 20% survive to adulthood. They are only a few, but those who survive fever are definitely strong. They become outstanding mutant individuals. The kids pass the entrance test of death. The future will be extremely bright and worth looking forward to. Rushing continuously like a devil, Leader Feng finally reached his home city. I went without checking the weather forecast, so I forgot to bring an umbrella. It rains very heavily in the countryside. In addition, the facilities seem to be more shabby. It can be said that they are dilapidated. Ordinary people look at it and see 100% death, but Leader Feng only sees 90%. Who knows, maybe in the remaining 10%, your sister is still alive. So even though it rained, Leader Feng still continued to search through the rubble, picking up rocks and bricks. The more I search, the more I realize that that small 10% is still illusory. Even so, Leader Feng will still look. His hands were bruised and covered in blood. But don't give up yet. Is it possible to accept that my sister is dead now? Leader Feng kept digging bricks and wanted to cry, but he still endured it to finish the job. It's raining and you're still crying. What if you don't see your sister? I thought that Leader Feng came alone, but there was still another person with him. This big leg is definitely not King Kong, but King Qiang. Leader Feng braked too late to catch up. When I got there, I saw my best friend digging the ground in vain. At first, you just sit back and watch while you dig for yourself, but you look so tired, so King Qiang gave up and helped you lift the whole block quickly. How deep do you want to dig? Leader Feng wanted to dig as deep as possible. Your house has a basement, and if you dig deeper you will probably see it. Even though he said that, Leader Feng's odds were fading. Anyone who sees it knows it's hopeless. I guess I still don't have it all yet. The two of them dug up the whole ground and couldn't stand the rain. There was a lot of rainwater and rocks, but no one was seen. Digging that much should be enough, right? Shouldn't it be said that my house also has a cellar underneath the cellar? Leader Feng finally gave up. There are no monsters or spirit power waves in this city, but it's radioactive. This is a city treated with nuclear warheads. Is human. King Qiang conveyed Wu Ziyu's thoughts to Leader Feng. Their divine beings did not want Leader Feng to hate his own human city in the future. Even in different positions, he doesn't want his future employees to make the wrong choice. Leader Feng heard it and Leader Feng also understood. He raised his face and let the rain wash away both his soul and body. After that, he voluntarily wanted to join Wu Ziyu's multi-species company. The battle with humans, although Leader Feng chose to fight with strange beasts, has not yet officially joined. Now it's time to focus wholeheartedly. I've searched enough and my sister is no more, making me cry so much. But do you know that when a man cries, he sheds tears? I've been holding out for a while now. Leader Feng loves his sister the most, so now he will also feel the greatest resentment. On that same rainy day, He decided to take revenge. The main target is humanity. When it comes to humans, we'd have to film humans. So I got on a plane and flew straight to the city. Here comes a petite, unreal, sublime girl with pink hair. She stood on the balcony for a long time. So her blue-haired teammate had to come up and ask, "What if she jumped down?" The blue-haired girl asked the pink-haired girl, "Are you thinking about work? Are you crazy? Isn't working more than 8 hours a day enough? I'm thinking of my brother. Leader, didn't you say your brother was somewhere and would come pick you up after finishing fighting?" Oh my God, the blue-haired lady said it so startlingly. The pink-haired girl's name is Leader Yu. So it's the same name as Leader Feng's sister. What a coincidence. But wait, then it's done. Brothers prepare to kill each other. Because according to the blue-shirted lady, Leader Yu needs to consolidate his position in the battlefield. Top 2 means she is not weak and is about to fight. Looking cute like this doesn't look like his taciturn brother at all. Except for the fact that both of them have natural talent, there is really nothing similar. Returning to the northern Yu ravine, King Qiang and Leader Feng returned. When I returned to my boss's side, it was peaceful and calm and I didn't see any rain. When Papa arrived, the kids screamed loudly. Mr. Wu Ziyu must have been so cruel in taking care of them. As soon as I met Leader Feng, they immediately attached themselves to me. In the end, he still chose Northern Yu, which pleased him very much. But I still have to ask a question first. Do you have any plans for the future? Leader Feng said he couldn't leave his babies. Besides, people are so unfair. He doesn't like that. Divine beings, sir. Of course, being called sir is too embarrassing. After that, she still knelt down. There's a reason for that. Leader Feng officially appointed Bei Wuziyu as boss today. Later, I devoted all my heart to serving. Wuziyu had more employees, but King Qiang was the first to be happy. The human trio has gathered again. Now I probably don't need any more people. King Qiang likes Wuziyu very much. Leader Feng has high qualifications and a stubborn personality. In his heart, he still had his own pride, so he gave Leader Feng to become his shadow. Respect is not equal to obedience. I'd agree, nothing more. With Leader Feng, it is a good thing. With Wu Ziyu, there is only benefit and no harm. Meets both needs. Wu Ziyu's tree roots were ablaze with fire after he applied the fire element and breathed into them. If he cultivates more ice and lightning elements in the future, he will probably have the 5 elements for himself to roam horizontally and vertically. The vines look stronger and stronger than before. He told himself that after leveling them up, he absorbed the remaining 2 spirit power stones, thereby increasing from 2 million points to 5 million points. Now, even if he uses his mutant mouth to breathe fire and his ass to shoot water at him, he won't be afraid of anyone. At the same time, the northern suburbs were covered with thick ice and snow. Walking on the hard snow was a wild boar that looked like a fur-covered bull, and has giant horns like an adult antelope that looks extremely fierce. It let out an angry cry warning them of intruding into its territory. Don't bother coming here, but the one who comes to hang out at his house doesn't fit. The Bull Demon King also roared in response. No one gives up. Bing! A resounding collision between 2 pairs of horns seemed to open an extremely fierce battle between the 2 sides. Some people come and some people stay, but that's what the bison thinks. Bull Demon King's headbutt broke its horns into several pieces. Blood from his head flowed down between his eyes filled with confusion. The yellow monkey carries a stick. From behind, the big junior rushed straight out, sweeping a path that easily blew away the crowd following that broken-horned bison. Someone opened the show. The yellow monkey's brothers also quickly jumped in to get some spotlight. Each of them looked as brutish as they could, and kept rushing forward and banging loudly. The mammoth's huge armored feet trampled enemies to the ground. Then the green dinosaur on the other side took down each one with its sharp fangs and claws. This group of bison had a great advantage in terms of numbers. They rushed forward and wanted to crush people with meat. But the Bull Demon King would not allow it. Its eyes glowed brightly, exerting gravity on all the ferocious beasts rushing towards it. One shot, one kill. I challenge any child to move. Next, a flock of wild wolves rushed out to fight. It was the species with the largest number among the group Wu Ziyu sent to conquer this place. But these cows are too crowded. Even green dinosaurs sweat. The leading wild wolf is growling and preparing to attack. Then suddenly from a nearby cliff, a jaguar jumped out. taking a bite right in the middle of the body of the leader of the ant group. It let out a scream of terror. On the other side, the yellow-haired wild boar, the leader of the herd, galloped as if trying to rescue his comrades. But I couldn't avoid the leopard's shining eyes. It threw its body up and flew onto the animal's head, then flipped away to avoid the attack. Where the snow leopard's hind claws just touched, the tip of his nose immediately spurted out a stream of blood. He looked back at his opponent who had just eaten the scar and smiled happily with a look like he shouldn't scare your father. But who knows, the final boss hasn't appeared yet. Big Brother Honey Badger opened his mouth and jumped towards it, showing off sharp claws. The impact of the honey badger on the jaguar's head caused the surrounding ground to rumble, like being bombed. Standing above the suspended opponent, he exhaled a white smoke filled with a threatening smell. I don't know your name yet, from the cold of the snow and rain. Bull Demon Cain raised his face and looked forward, where the sound of a large animal's breathing was coming from. Looking at it, you immediately know that the leader of the pack has appeared. Musk New King, rank 1, slowly appeared behind the group of juniors with 2 angry red eyes. Amidst the gray sky of the Roman mountains, in the distance, I saw a column of red light shooting up into the sky. On Wu Ziu's tree roots, a red flower appeared like fire, radiates a warm light. His eyes gently looked at the flower that had just condensed from the fire element. Its condensation speed is too fast, far surpasses other flowers before. Could it be because his spirit power score increased? Should affect its ability to bloom. While looking at the flower tree, there was a very loud sound of footsteps stepping on the ground. Make him turn around and look. His employees brought back a herd of cows lying around behind. Perhaps he had achieved the KPI given by his boss, making him very happy and staring at it. I was about to count the number when I realized that the green dinosaur was holding a different prey in its mouth than the rest. Is a mutant snow leopard with a natural talent that increases speed in the blink of an eye. But don't last too long or it will affect your ability to move. Special skill Frost Claws used to tear and freeze wounds. Frozen Breath uses naturally fresh breath to freeze everything around. It also has a blood boiling effect, used to increase combat effectiveness within a short period of time. Look at this jaguar's information board. He was puzzled. He didn't know why it was captured at this speed. Who killed this leopard? Because it's too arrogant. Ice Piercing spoke up. It's the honey badger that takes it down. Oh, perhaps his instinct to act alone and his innate arrogance gave him an unexpected blow. But it also proves that this leopard has good talent. It's not bad to keep it and raise it. Look at those herd animals. Even if there is Musk New Cain rank 1, I don't see much potential. Collect them all and use them as evolution points. Wu Ziu ordered all the cows to be eliminated, leaving only 1 leopard. Wu Ziu's juniors devoted themselves to the battle, been at the northern border for a full month. Just wherever they go they encounter any enemy, even if it's a herd of animals leading them. Or whoever reigns in that area will be wiped out by wolves and others. But that doesn't mean there were no casualties on his side. The wine wolf herd decreased from 30 to 8. The wild boar herd only had 7 animals left, full of injuries, because on the way to conquer, they met the strongest opponent in that area. A rank 2 ice bear swept through most of the squad. If that day the bull demon Cain was not present, he would use gravity to overwhelm the bear, afraid that they wouldn't come back alive. Then the 9 great beasts controlled it and forced it to leave to end the battle. Keep your eyes on where the bear just left. Ice Piercing reluctantly asked Bull Demon Cain what he planned to do with that bear. We cannot fight it no matter how much we join forces. From the ground behind, a white snake emerges that rarely appears. Now I finally give it a line that sounds a bit dangerous. Hello guys, we found that bear's lair. Where it lives is a Lingxi mine full of ice-type Lingxi. If you like, take it out and lick a few pieces. No wonder why such a cunning beast suddenly appears in the wilderness. Turns out to also secretly use Lingxi. With just one swing of its hand, the surrounding ground immediately froze, making it difficult for anyone to get close. The bull demon king used its large horns. Leave first and tell Ice Piercing to go. This is beyond their capabilities. Haven't seen the male lead on the field for a long time. This time, he will show off his power. Just 10 days after the strange beasts rushed in to conquer the Roman mountains, the map of the northern Yu Gorge has been expanded to include the mountain range. The white area is the northern landscape. Between that area and the northern Umain Canyon lie the Roman Mountains. After the sweep, a part of the strange beasts returned to northern U Mountain as before, partly guarding the Roman Mountains, and the nine-tailed fox returned to Wuziyu. Its breakthrough light glowed like a tower of light in the dark night. Prepare yourself to receive the most super breakthrough Vipro ever. Looking at his first child about to create a miracle, no one is as happy as Wuziyu appeared. The nine-tailed fox's second tail wiggled next to the first one swimming in the blinding light. Upgrade to nine-tailed fox rank, a natural talent, and each time you rank up, you will grow an additional tail. Each tail contains a different talent, special ability, beautiful enchanting eyes that make the whole world immersed in it and unable to escape. Fire-type nine-tailed foxes are favored with fire control skills to a certain extent. Has fire-covered claws with terrible temperatures, can scratch and tear the alloy in a short time. Fire Yanwai, the hairs covering it burn with firelight, instantly injuring anyone who touches it. In addition, it can accelerate for a moment, even a sudden burst of speed in a short period of time. The most unique new move in the system is the levitate skill. Use a lot of spirit power to create tornadoes in the sky. Wuziyu's eyes were bright. Levitate. Just being able to carry my pants made me so happy that I was ranked third. This fox can use spiritual energy to fly. Is it because it has the bloodline of a celestial fox? The nine-tailed fox also gave Wuziyu another surprise. Tell him you have a new skill. What? Nectar skill. This is a type of hidden skill that allows the nine-tailed fox to use spirit power more wisely than before. Reduces spirit power consumption by 3 times normal. The nine-tailed fox extended his paw to try the third move for Wuziyu. See how delicately the nectar skill does not allow it to control spirit power. Then it affects the newly acquired levitate skill and causes it to fly into the air. It seems that the levitate skill for strange beasts is only difficult to super difficult. It's not like you can fly. It also requires a lot of skills in applying spirit power and controlling spiritual energy due to too much consumption. The nine-tailed fox placed its new paws in the air for a few minutes. It was sweating profusely. Just that short amount of time made it unable to maintain the levitate skill. You have to practice spirit power more. Brought to the flower, the new fire element condensed to form the nine-tailed fox. Wuziyu told it to swallow this fire flower. Will help its spirit power increase to 400 points. Looked up at the brilliant nine-tailed fox flower, but refused to accept it. Why? Wuziyu doesn't understand, and I don't understand either. Give it to me, I will bite it without hesitation. Owner, if it's simply to increase spirit power, then you should leave this fire flower to another strange beast. For me, this flower increases 400 spirit power points, which is not worth much. It's not wrong to say that if you can't give it to a nine-tailed fox with a fire element, then give it to someone who is suitable. 1 month after the spirit power wave arrived, in the cold snow-capped mountains, King conveyed extremely important news. Strange beasts across the country have joined together to destroy a number of small countries surrounding the Federation. To fight against the beasts, all people must become soldiers. Become a soldier to resist the strange beasts, to fight for your life. Most of those places are barely breathing. Life and death are always fought back and forth, so people decided to establish the 10 Kingdoms Alliance, in which Huaxia discusses the destruction of the Great Tree. He is here to eliminate the threat. I don't know how many humans are left, but I still want to uproot Wuziyu. He is a tree that wants to be quiet, but it seems like the waves keep coming up one wave after another without stopping. Someone's claws scratched the snow and rushed forward at extremely high speed. Turning up a bit, I discovered that our honey badger was focusing on moving quickly. Why does honey badger look so strange today? Following right behind it was a serious group of wine wolf. Tyrant and the white snake walked without saying a word. And finally the bull demon king's claws and ice piercing kicking the ground. The yellow monkey still rides on a wild boar as usual, walking next to its leader with confidence. They were all gathered in front of the great tree. Wuziyu, you're back already. Take a look around. The feeling of them coming in such a large number was not something he could see every day. But now the number of members has decreased significantly after the purge. Anyway, in misfortune there is also luck. Went through fighting for many days. 3 wind wolves and 2 wild boars have broken through rank 1. As expected, there were unexpected casualties. But this is the only way to improve the fighting power of his beasts. Bull Demon King's eldest brother spoke first and reported to him that they were coming back this time because they discovered a cave full of ice properties. Only it's outside the northern landscape. Not to mention, there is a rank 2 strange beast that has been registered to reside there for a long time. This news was shocking to him. It's true that a second-rank strange beast has appeared outside. In deeper places where no one bothers you, there are many strong people. Wuziyu brought a vine to his mouth and blew a long whistle to call the kestrel. The leader of the falcon appeared as quickly as lightning to receive his boss's orders. Go call the nine-tailed fox and the king of wine here. The kestrel just left. He immediately spread out the golden vines to surround his disciples who had just returned. Sprinkle them with the essence of life and reward. Battle for a month. Most of the strange beasts have already broken through. After receiving the life essence given by Wuziyu, the wound immediately disappeared. Looks even more handsome. The same goes for the level 9s in the Wind Wolf herd. There are also signs that we are about to break through to a new realm. But what's more important is that he looked at the Bull Demon King and told him not to go on his next conquest. The little boy was startled. I had so much fun hanging out with my juniors, but suddenly my boss told me not to go anymore. You're about to break through, so stay here. Nine-tailed fox and king of wine will set out to take over the mine. Bull Demon King looked worriedly at the divine beings, further resisting the bet, waiting for him to break through and then go with him. That king of wine guy looks like a flat tire, still young and without combat experience. The person who made you like him couldn't bear to let them go on their own. It's okay because now Nine-tailed fox, how? It's bad news or sad news? Don't say it straight, just hesitate. The nine-tailed fox's front paws, wrapped in fire, placed on the ground, causing the snow to melt in an instant. Nine-tailed fox has now reached rank 2. Are you reassured? This is not reassuring anymore. I don't know what peace of mind is. Look at it. It's so hot that when anyone touches it, it burns its skin. The ice mountain is cold and empty, not only because of the cold, but also because of the powerful strange beasts that live inside. It is inherently deserted all year round. Only the sound of wind and snow blowing can be heard. But this year the iceberg is much more bustling. Today, the cold ice mountain welcomes a group of rich kids from northern New Mountain to fly in the sky. On the ice, little white serpent slithered as fast as it could, keeping up with the speed of its brothers flying above. King of Wine sat on his private convertible plane, so his beak inhaled a lot of oxygen, so he had free time to bother others. The closest one is a nine-tailed fox, so the bear says nine-tailed fox says random things. The first time I went on a mission, I didn't expect to do it with you. Hey, I don't know what to call the red shirt. I heard people call you Big Brother, so I asked permission to call you Beauty Queen. Can you teach me how to fly? I also want to fly. And how many tails do you plan to grow in the future? 100 pieces. More and more. Your body is always burning like this, so do you get cold when you shower? The fire fox acts like a piece of charcoal grilling meat when dropped into water to cool it down. The nine-tailed fox initially intended to leave him alone and let him shut up. Who would have thought that its mouth didn't know where it stopped? Seen people deliberately not answering. They asked again. Why didn't they answer? King of Wine, keep talking. The eldest brother couldn't stand the headache. To prevent his teeth from biting King of Wine's head, he decided to leave the conversation. The nine-tailed fox launched a flight thousands of meters away, refusing to communicate. But the panda thought his eldest brother wanted to race, so he pulled the reins from the bird's mouth and forced him to follow him. Although Wuziyu also has his own concerns about remote area travel, but nothing can be done. Let me see. The cow demon was not allowed to go out, so he went back to the ravine to practice. The fire-type Lingxi in the panda house are almost finished. I just spent all my money. Several thousand Wuziyu evolution points were poured into several hundred vines. Looks very good too. The colors are eye-catching and look beautiful. Reached level 4, the vines now not only grow branches, but can also produce branches with different elements depending on the type of Lingxi he uses. Right now, there aren't many. Then after smashing a few more lightning and ice Lingxi, you'll get rainbow vines. Although it took a lot of money and effort, he could use just 10 level 4 vines. Now if the honey badger lies, he will spread his 2 hands and 5 fingers and his ass will fall. Beat it to get butt muscles. Not only the vines, the roots also reached a new level. Previously, they were already Vipro, and now they are even more powerful. It sounds terrible, but Wu Ziyu feels it's not enough, because he has no information offshore. I don't know what rank the sea monsters in the deepest place have reached. Therefore, there is something new, something good, right back in Wu Ziyu's hands. After using Lingxi, he discovered that he had a new skill called Blood Covenant Skill. Is a skill added after changing blood several times. But this system is good at making money. Why didn't you say at first how many levels you have to level up to use it? Just let Wu Ziyu pump points from level 1 to level 2, and then up to level 3 to start unlocking skills. Luckily, 5,000 more points can continue to evolve. If you want more, then stop. Finally, after depleting his points, Wu Ziyu reached level 3 and was able to use the function of using blood to bind others into slavery. Does the willow tree have blood? Sounds like a scam, right? But that aside, this skill is still strong. Turning another person into a slave sounds like both psychological manipulation and suddenly having a child without giving birth. Applicable to normal people. However, it is not the kind of good skill that increases sympathy like life essence, but more like the venom of a ghost or dragon biting into a person. Where did King Qiang come from? I asked at no point. Very quickly following boss's call, King Qiang crawled up from the ground. Once you surface, let him give you some shocking news so you don't have to waste time getting up. The 10-Nation Alliance and its members will meet at the border in the near future. Of course, they didn't meet just to drink tea, but to discuss the conquest of Nether Yu again. The situation is so hot, so I'll give you a task. How can I stop them from meeting each other? Or delay the meeting so we don't get to see each other? King Qiang knows Nether Yu. Now when we encounter that alliance group, it will definitely be difficult to control. Immediately hurriedly left, but Wu Ziyu said there was no rush. Bring a few more mutated animals to avoid loneliness. After all, the Federation of 10 countries cannot let King Qiang handle it alone. One more thing. If you go on a mission and find a potential candidate, if you can bring it back, do it. Tan Kuang's eyes showed determination. He had never done this task before, so he wanted to try it. King Qiang rushed through the nest area and loudly called Leader Fang. What are you yelling about when you're calm and peaceful? He didn't answer, just looked at King Qiang, crawling up from the ground. Oh my God, how are you so good? How not important? The important thing is that I need help. Currently, my boss assigned me a task outside the border. I need a few animals to go with me. Your chimpanzee staff isn't carrying it around, so why are they looking for me? If you don't have money, don't try to borrow it. Actually, I was planning to bring chimpanzees, but the company was so short of human resources. The construction team also had to fight to preserve the newly occupied territory, so there was no one left. The ants also have a sword team. Then the chimpanzee team was gone, so the ant team had to go construction. It's a real headache. I ran out of places to borrow money, so I went to a place I loved, and it was so stressful. Even though Leader Fang looked so tense, he still agreed to introduce someone who was already a dick. The remaining 3 are level 9. The secret is not revealed, can only tell you that the first rat has awakened the element of darkness like his papa. I have full experience and skills. As for why they are like me, it's because they were raised on Leader Fang's flesh and blood. It's so precious that I lent it. Thank you. But 4 of them, King Qiang felt, were still not enough to be a team. But these 4 are just a precaution. Leader Fang wouldn't have called them a group of rats if there were only 4 of them. Behind him was a large herd of animals with red eyes that were extremely bloody. King Qiang looked at the town mentally. I want to send a signal for help. The work at home will be considered finished. Return to the front line where the King of Wine and the 9-tailed fox are personally conquering the Ice Mountain. The guests haven't arrived yet, but the boss of the Ice Mountain has already sensed it. Because it has welcomed many groups of guests, it has experience receiving guests. Appear to welcome. His facial expressions were extremely gentle. His voice was as smooth as a flight attendant's. Just speak a little louder like a speaker. With a professional attitude, customers immediately bared their teeth in a friendly greeting as soon as they arrived. Seeing that I was solemnly welcomed, King of Wine was very satisfied with the service of this rank 2 polar bear. Once you finish conquering it, I will rate it 5 stars for good quality. But the eyes are a bit messy. Unless you're blind, if you dare glare at a VIP like that, you'll have to go down and be slapped. King of Wine Law, he. The other side greets and this side also has to greet back. Then he crossed his arms and jumped out of his private plane. No need to paraglide or anything. Its eyes flashed fire as if it was too used to this height. Gently landing on the ground, a large area collapsed. To protect its prestige and territory, the second-rank bear roared in response. If you don't watch the previous paragraph, you definitely won't recognize King of Wine. Its entire body emitted a terrifying dark red murderous aura, but his mouth still had a comfortable smile. It was ready. There is no competition here. There is only its hunt. The nine-tailed fox and little white serpent landed a long distance away, silently waiting to see how he performed. In terms of size, it is clear that the polar ice bear of rank 2 is completely opposite. Even the little white serpent and nine-tailed fox cannot match the size of its 4 legs. But its opponent is now so small that from a bird's eye view it's hard to see who it is. After the smoke and fog collided with the snow layer, the little white serpent panda is laughing hi ho ho with 2 eyes shining like headlights, just like a villain's menacing character. Do you know who your father is? How dare you come here to cause trouble in the territory? The second-rank ice bear will tear it into pieces today to make it less boastful. Last time, little white serpent also fought with this bear once, but fighting with the gang will hurt the bear. Within a few days, the bear had completely recovered. I don't know what the bear is planning to do, because the last time the whole group rushed forward, they beat him until he was injured and retreated. But injuries like that can only be counted as broken skin. No major impact on the inside. Surely there must be something in the area where it lives. Enough to make it regain its strength within 5 days and increase its fighting power manifold in a very short period of time. It would be a lie to say little white serpent is not afraid. It was afraid. Fear was clearly visible on its face in front of the giant aura of the ice bear, no matter how many warnings the ice snake says. King of Wine wants to solo with polar bears. Within 1,000 meters there cannot be 2 bears. Its whole body burst into a layer of yellow fire. Still smiling, he told the 2 brothers not to get involved. Let him fight with it. You're right, little bear, so take a bite from me. The huge polar ice bear rushed past, closing the distance with the King of Wine. It was immediately punched and silenced. Small and crazy, but a bit strong. Not being good is one thing, you hear. Fly and hit your head on a rock to wake yourself up. I don't know if the polar bear is awake yet, but the children in the house are awake. They opened their throats and couldn't close them. It's hard to understand why a small panda could punch a giant ice bear in the face. As for the nine-tailed fox, carefully observe it. It seems like I feel like I want to respect the bear more. Our panda looks like that, but diligently practices both speed and strength without missing out. Even though he beat Fire Lingxi day and night, he never missed training even for a day. Until today, it will definitely fight with all its strength. Sitting at home for a long time is so itchy. Currently, King of Wine is in the mood to beat him to death. It sends up a fiery stream that wants to melt the ice. Its face was twisted dangerously. This atmosphere showed that he really wanted to fight the ice bear. No more joking. As for the second-rank bear, if he took a hit, His Majesty would definitely be touched. Recognize that little brat. If you are not serious, you may lose. A few planes were flying around when they saw snow and rain falling all over their heads. Little White Serpent looked up and saw the unusual falling speed of the snowflakes. It's not like the season will fall on its own, which was certainly made by the homeowner to welcome guests to his playground. A snowstorm accompanied by strong winds blew through both, makes the King of Wine happy. At least that has to be the case to be worthy for the King of Wine to use all his strength to fight the ice bear. It again released the characteristic red aura of Fire Lingxi, emitted a large column of fire around the panda. Under the fire, all the ice and snow melted. Little White Serpent smiled again, signaling that he was ready to go into battle. The ice bear releases a huge stream of spirit power that covers its body like its opponent. Instead, it removed several super large blocks of ice from its body and held them around it, ready to attack. Just one hit and you'll lose. The polar bear has 9 trees for King of Wine. It launched to pin those 9 trees to a place where the King of Wine was standing. All the ice stuck together to form an extremely large and massive icicle. Just a second of silence. The next second, a flaming circular ball suddenly shot out from inside, carrying fire energy that melted the ice cylinder. Immediately, the king of wine kept the ball rolling out of his confinement, swirling around the polar bear like a drill, pressing its head to the ground, spewing blood. The joke isn't funny, so it's extremely tense. His eyes flashed with blood and hatred. From the left, it raised its claw to slap the king of wine in the air. Who would have thought that the dwarf bear was playing a bad game? It can also spin in the air and spin on the fat bear's hand, making it roll straight towards its face. Wherever it rolled, it left a trail of fire, causing the ice bear to panic. By the time I realized it, the round mass had already impacted the jaw on that surprise face. After causing an accident, King of Wine stabbed the victim a few more times until the victim was completely dead, reducing the pain. In the air, it steers extremely harshly with its electric speed. It hit everywhere on the bear's body, leaving it unable to fight back. The polar bear was in so much pain that blood was all over his body. "If you do anything, it will die at the hands of the King of Wine," roared in terror. It creates a level 7, level 8, level 15 snowstorm, opening the King of Wine's zigzag path, causing the dwarf bear to hastily defend himself to avoid being blown away. Throwing snow around, it's hard for the audience to see close-up details. Fortunately, the polar bear is big, so you can still see it. Clearly see where the King of Wine is in the air. The second-ranked polar bear raised its sharp claws and slammed it down on the King of Wine, causing the snow there to be several meters high. The King of Wine was shaken from that direct blow, was knocked out and then frozen into ice coconut jelly at some unknown moment. One strike from the ice bear could create a giant ice pillar that locked the King of Wine inside, unable to move. The ice snake saw that the situation was unfavorable for the panda, was about to rush in to help, but was stopped by the nine-tailed fox, telling him to take it slow and not panic. I thought the match was over and my opponent had become a canned food. The ice bear raised his lips mockingly. "This is the last guy you sent to kill me, right? So boring. You're the one who's bored, you fat bear. You were so busy talking nonsense that you didn't notice your bandage was cracking." When I looked back at the cracked ice block, it made an extremely ear-splitting sound. King of Wine is a fire-type creature, not a canned mackerel to fear. It unleashes all of its spirit power in one shot. Flames emitted from his body, blowing away the hard ice. Once again appears majestically as the main character of the series. The ice bear's eyes had not yet closed due to panic or mental preparation. The panda used its old trick again, curling up and rushing away like an arrow. Soldier, this time it didn't hit the face, it rolled straight into the heart, officially ending the war. How can a polar bear stand it? Falling into the snow. Definitely not sad. Staggered a few times. Its whole body was covered in blood, where the heart has a deep hole. Died instantly. Eyes and mouth still not closed. The panda's victory, but Little White Serpent is the funniest, because at first he was worried that King of Wine would lose the most. Then two vulture planes let out two sounds to celebrate victory. Finally, the nine-tailed fox with a loving, satisfied smile. Maybe the eldest brother will be willing to talk to the panda sister in the future. Or not, because the bear is so talkative. After King of Wine wins, he turns off the fire on his body. He posed and then turned around and grinned. "We didn't do too bad, right?" Still has that cold expression, accompanied by two streams of blood flowing down from the head. It's unclear whether it was the ill-fated polar bear's blood or its own blood. The strong wind revealed the second-rank ice bear lying with its muzzle open with a large hole in its heart. It hurts here, standing in front of a huge body, full of bloodstains standing out on the white fur. King of Wine confidently turned around and raised two fingers to his brothers behind him. It seems the blood on his head is from the bear. He still looks very alert and handsome. Even so, the battle just now was still incredibly fierce. Little White Serpent looked at his brother so comfortably and didn't know what to say. Suddenly it shouted, "Be careful, bro." The polar bear was so big that it jumped up like lightning. Its entire set of sharp claws swung straight down at its head. King of Wine doesn't know anything yet. As soon as he turned around, he saw a set of blue nails rushing towards him, in the cries of the vultures cursing the bear for being so ugly in appearance. Sneak attack, my brother. The kids couldn't drive fast enough, but their eldest brother did it for them. The nine-tailed fox stood on the wind and rushed towards the white bear, so fast that before the King of Wine could blink, he saw three flaming tails right above his head. The white bear recognized the danger from the nine-tailed fox. larger than the zuka with the chef skin underneath. Then he opened his mouth full of fangs and tried to bite each other. Unexpectedly, although the nine-tailed fox does not have teeth, it has something much more powerful. Within the range of northern U Mountain, it hasn't had a chance to try the new move it just acquired. Now is the right time to call fire and burn this bear to ashes. Big brother, I'm still here. Even if you burn that bear, please tell me it's so hot, bro. Suddenly, the entire black bear's head crashed onto the snow, relieving the heat of the king of wine. Stepping over the steaming body, the eldest brother showed the children what VIP fire-resistant fur is. Its eyes flashed dangerously. With just one fire attack, he burned down a rank 2 bear, not to mention just one. Just now, sometimes 3 nine-tailed foxes at once were enough to roast them. It is not true that King of Wine is not afraid. It is frightened by the explosive power of the nine-tailed fox, but it's also exciting in itself. Surely one day he will have a duel with his eldest brother to compare his strength, in a sunny city far away from deep forests and bloody icebergs. Rank 1 Kestrel is spreading its wings to find familiar people in a crowded urban area. Saw the second bird in the falcon flock suddenly coming to find him. He Xiaoling was squinting his eyes to get up when he saw Lingxi fly down onto the table, mouth holding a small piece of paper. Wu Ziyu also knew how to make use of the kestrels as messengers. Why don't you tie it to your feet and force your child to suck on a piece of paper to make him tired? The content of the paper was quite simple, talking about how King Qiang had set out to stop the interband group from meeting and burn the communication paper in his hand. Her face revealed a smile. Little He Xiaoling recently received information that there was a monster with 12-ish holes in the Federation delegation going to the meeting. Having King Qiang on retainer will definitely be more effective. Only the animals in the city and the fire butterflies that touch them will burn. He Xiaoling easily captured half of the army. Looking at the office with a great view, you can understand that she has power. However, federal command remained in the hands of Lei Yuanho. If this time, King Qiang can make it a point of no return, He Xiaoqing will handle it at home. While thinking endlessly in front of him, a vampire suddenly appeared and called his name, causing He Xiaoling to turn around immediately. He looked like the Dracula who used bat shurikens in the last battle, because they belong to the same genetically modified race. Sucks blood and cannot move under the sun. This time I came to announce the news. Said that Li Hao came to look for her again. I'm waiting outside, but I don't see you and I don't come back, just waiting silently like that. He Xiaoling had been avoiding meeting Li Hao for many days. Whenever it comes, avoid it. Today, I used the excuse that I was practicing but still didn't want to meet him. The vampire didn't ask again. Okay, boss. When it's over, I asked to leave, but He Xiaoling wouldn't let the vampire leave. She pressed his head and asked about the progress of training Blood Destiny. The name Blood Destiny was quite similar to Wu Ziyu's new skill. Probably the same function. Currently, the mixed cream ambassador has been refined into 4 drops. Practice 1 more drop and you're done. He reported progress while smiling arrogantly, assured He Xiaoling that Li Hao would soon become her relative. Away from the splendid streets, let's go up the mountain to see the trees together. But this tree is a bit strange and keeps burning. Turns out it's the tree that uses Lingxi. If you inhale Lingxi too much, the flowers will bloom. This flower is also not ordinary. It is the elemental flower. Both the wings and leaves are bright red. Flowers carry the fire element. Nothing else. This flower grows on the branches of Wu Ziyu. Relying on his strength to develop his abilities, can now turn absorbing creatures into fire-type creatures. The day before, it only had 4 petals, but now it has grown into 9. It seems that this Linghua flower is different from before. That is, his strength also increased more or less. To become stronger, you must use the upgrade system. The system is here. What do you say? Upgrade your fireball feathers skills. What are fireball feathers? It's his new skill. What's the name and how is it? When cast, it will create countless flames falling like feathers. Where do you fall? That place burns for 7 days and 7 nights. This time, he actually obtained a wide area attack skill. Later, when people came to play the piano, he fried them all. Take a breath and then pour the fire spirit power column up to the sky. The big tree caught fire, but he was unharmed. From the body it emitted an oppressive spirit power source that made Kim Qiang, standing 200 meters away, still feel the heat. Having a campfire at night is really great, but this fire is a bit too much. makes the sky red. King Kong witnessed with his own eyes and could not help but admire the power of divine beings. Already strong, it continues to increase. The pillar of fire he launched stabbed straight through the clouds. After that, a series of sparks fell like empty coal dust. It looks beautiful and brilliant, but if it falls on it, it will die without a bone. Even the person using the move feels this move is too disgusting. If it falls, everything around it will be destroyed. I just built a house and planted trees, so I have to plant it all again because of trying a trick. Stop trying anymore. This move also does not consume too much spirit power. It only takes 2 parts, so if you don't want to use it anymore, just cancel the move without any regrets. Wu Ziyu lowered the vines. The flames in the sky also disappeared because of that. 2 parts of spirit power created so many sparks. The entire slope is probably a foggy mountain that needs to be renamed a volcano. The boss's choice of time to test his moves is also very good. As soon as I returned from delivering mail, I was psychologically traumatized. I thought I was turning into a roast bird. If we talk about the techniques that Wu Ziyu has had for a long time, refining force and Liu Yifedo and Wuji are all methods that take time to execute. While fireball feathers, this skill consumes little spirit power and is effective in a wide area. Just like the final boss, he's not afraid of anyone. When I sat down, the Ice Mountain boss team had just returned. The trophy is a fragrant grilled polar bear. 3 vultures, 2 to pick up guests and 1 to transport goods. The goods were a bit too heavy, so as soon as they arrived, they immediately threw them on the ground. Luckily, it's not a broken product. On the contrary, the second-ranked one lying on the ground is very stubborn. Although the polar bear was completely roasted, the polar bear still refused to surrender. On the way back, I kept struggling. Almost injured the vulture carrying it.